Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's insightful webinar hosted by Star Consulting Limited on the theme Data-Driven Performance Management using Analytics and AI to Unlock Productivity. It's such a pleasure to have you all here today. You all HR leaders, business executives, team leads, performance managers, learning and development professionals, and other passionate professionals who believe in the power of data and technology to transform the way we work in this current disposition. At Purple Star Consulting, we are passionate about helping organizations and professionals unlock their potentials through performance systems. And this session is another step in this direction. Today's conversation, we will explore how data analytics and AI, artificial intelligence, are reshaping employee performance, driving smarter decisions, enhancing productivity at every level of an organization. So before we begin, a quick few notes. Please keep your microphones on mute during the presentation. You can drop your questions in the chat box at any time. We'll take them during the Q&A segment. And yes, this session is recorded, so you will get a playback link after the event. Now let's dive in. So performance management has evolved far beyond annual appraisals, right? In today's world, the focus is now on continuous improvement, real-time insights, and data-driven decision making. AI now enables us to analyze behavioral data, predict outcomes, and even personalize learning and feedbacks. So this creates a proper performance culture that is proactive rather than reactive. Our distinguished speakers today will help us unpack how organizations can utilize analytics and AI to enhance employee engagement, optimize productivity, and align people strategy with business performance. So it is my honor to introduce our distinguished speakers for today. We have with us Anthony Umbe, a human resource system analytics expert who is also a business growth and strategy consultant. Anthony has helped several organizations implement data-driven performance systems that have redefined how they measure productivity and success. And we also have here Ezine Nwanchuku, a human resource technology expert and business development lead at Laubi AI. Ezine brings a unique blend of technology and people strategy experience, helping organizations adopt AI tools and enhance efficiency in decision making in HR and performance management. And of course, I am Gessie Louis, your moderator for today, representing Purple Star Consulting Limited, a firm dedicated to helping organizations design, implement performance management framework that drives real result and success. To kick things off, please join me in welcoming Mr. Anthony Mbe, who will be sharing on the functions of data-driven performance management, what it means, how analytics influence performance tracking, and the business case for data-based decision making. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Anthony. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Luke. It's a pleasure to be here. Please, I'd like to come from people. Uh, thank you for that. So it's a pleasure to meet. A good morning, good afternoon, wherever particular aspect to give me a lot of knowledge that's giving me insights into how practices are being done and how things operate. So I'd like to briefly share my screen so as to give more insight into this keynote topic that's been presented before me, which will now give us more insight into the broader topic. So the keynote topic is the foundation of data-driven performance management. So what this is making us understand is that there are foundations to performance management that is backed on data. And this data is now being integrated with analytics to achieve real business impact. So my name is Anthony Mbe again, like I said. And this is a keynote speech which will now usher us, which will serve as a foundation to the greater topic, which is AI and how it is, being leveraged in the HR space. So first of all, we're going to talk about what these foundations are. And by foundations, we're going to be talking about what has actually changed. What are those things that has been able to change and is, turning out to be something different in the HR ecosystem. So the very first thing that we need to understand is moving from subjective to objective. So what does this mean? You understand and you agree with me when I say that in the past, performance, appraisals, promotions were all given by unbacked data. That is, they were all given by just gut feel or by intuition, or I feel like this person has been doing a lot of work in the office. This person is always coming early, or this person, dresses well. There's so many unbiased way by which we've been able to provide appraisals, promotions, and give kudos to certain employees and not. And why this is happening is because we are not being objective and we are not backing up whatever we see with data. It's not the person that talks too much, talk the most during meetings that's actually putting in the work. It's not the person that goes out the most or dressed the most or has a good relationship with the boss. That means that the person is putting the work. That means all of these are subjective. They are not based on facts. There are no biases. They are not things that you can actually hold. They don't have substance, and that is where the foundation comes in. As we're moving away from just giving kudos to people based on what you think, but actually what the data says. Why am I giving this particular employee as the best salesperson of the month? I'm giving this person because the person has been able to close X amount of deals. The person has been able to convert, has been able to create a partnership within this, has been able to drive revenue for the company. And I can show it in detail. So I was able to meet with some number of clients, was able to book X number of meetings, and all of this. So that's one of the foundations that we should actually change if we want to arrive, at a stage where we can actually say we are, giving performance based on data. Then the very second thing that is also important is moving from annual to real time. So what this means is that rather than the regular way of always carrying out performance management, maybe once in a year or maybe twice in a year, it is not substantial and it's not good enough. So gaining continuous insights into performance and engagement not just once a year helps. And this you can achieve with the help of analytics as well as AI. So what this means is that you're going to be carrying out a continuous check. So you're going to be carrying out a continuous check and a continuous performance management system on the go in real time. So having a system set that tracks these analytics, that tells you that in a week, you're able to see that this person is working more than this person, and you're not doing this, fully automating it to a particular system. There's always an human interference. And that's why we're having this webinar today, because we're going to show you how you can balance out AI with HR, not one for another, working simultaneously. There should be a way whereby HR and AI can have a handshake and thereby achieving great goals and the respective objective of that particular company. So changing that helps you to understand that rather than just carrying out your regular boring cycle of one uh, performance management cycle in here, you can make it in real time. You can make it continuous, which will help you to even figure out employees that are being burnt out. And that's another very important topic. Burning out in an organization, a company cannot just be, you just see that there's a very high attrition rate in the company and you'll be wondering, how did that come about? So it came about because you were not able to track, you were not proactive enough to figure out that there's this employee that has been overworking on a task. But when you have moved to the area where you have, real time, you're able to now check, you're able to see who is slacking, you're able to see who is being overworked, you're able to see who you can give kudos to, you're able to have promotions and all of that. Then the final foundation here, as you can see, is moving from silos to systems. What this means is that you're connecting performance metrics, KPI, directly to your core business goals and strategies. And you can only achieve this by not working individually. So not a scenario where the customer service team is working separately from the sales team, working differently from the marketing team, working differently from the management. There should be a system that helps to bring everybody together to ensure that there's proper management and that everybody's work is being reflected and fed into each other. So these are the foundations. Then moving on to how. So how do you now integrate your analytics, which is very important. So the first is to connect your data. You have systems. That's why we have built systems. There's so many automating HR systems, recently in the market that has been coming up, some based on AI, some leveraging automation. So it helps you to ensure that as an HR person, once you have a connected system where all your HR, CRM, ops, everything is in one single source of truth, it makes it easier for you. Another way you can do this is by embedded dashboards. So you make tools just like Lobby AI part of your daily workflow for managers. So in such a way that you have line managers feed to the managers feed to the C-level officials. So when you have this embedded dashboard, everybody sees there's what we call transparency within the HR space. And this is going to ensure that there are no loopholes. Every data is being captured. Everybody's work is being recognized and counted. Then the third thing that that shows how we can integrate this analytics is by automating reports. So free up HR and leadership to analyze insight, not just build reports. So the olden days, or would I say in the advent of AI, technology automation has not even come. What used to happen is that there's just a very boring report. HR spends 20 days out of 30 days in a month trying to compile reports, trying to get this person to appraise this person, trying to give feedback to this person. And there is no time to actually understand what this report is actually bringing out. Okay, you've gone through everybody's appraisal, maybe be 360 or peer-to-peer review or manager to it. All of this information needs to actually be tracked, and then you're able to now go from there. Then start small. So when you're trying to focus on data, you start small before now scaling to complex systems. So the why, that's the real business impact now. The reactive way, which is the way when something happens, you're now reacting, and then the proactive way. For example, annual subjective appraisals has now been transformed into identifying high performance precisely, then reacting to skill guys as gaps has also now changed to personalized learning and development, understanding where there are gaps between your employees. This person is having a communication gap, this person is having a performance gap, or lead generation problem, as the case may be. Then sometimes you are surprised by burnout and turnover. You're like, why everybody just leaving my company? This person resigned, that person resigned. And then you now want to start taking action. That's the old way and the reactive way. Whereas the proactive and the new way is to address turnover risk. You're able to forecast that this person might resign because he has been burnt out, he has been working, time and time over without appreciation, without recognition. And the final one here is identifying past failures, whereas you can develop future-ready talent, preempt the problem. And that brings me to the end. This particular keynote speech about analytics, I'm going to end with this. Analytics AI, the accelerator. So you data right first. This foundation is now what empowers AI to unlock true productivity. What this is saying is that you need to get your data right before you can now use AI to analyze, and then you're able to achieve your business objective. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Anthony. That's a very great one. That's a very great insight. Thank you so much for that powerful and data-rich presentation. I particularly love how you highlighted the link between analytics and decision making and employee engagement. Thank you so much. So next, we'll be hearing from Ezine Nwachukwu, who will take us deeper into the world of AI in performance management, exploring how artificial intelligence can simplify complex HR process and empower leaders to make better people decisions. So Ezine, over to you. You have the floor. Thank you so much.
Good morning, you here. Hope everybody can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for the opportunity to have everyone on the call today. My name is here to stay. CIPM last week, and the conversation was majorly centered around AI evolution. Some HRs were like, "Oh, it's about to take my job," but we had a lot of enlightening session where we let them know that this is not the case. AI is majorly here to simplify processes for you, and if you don't plug into it right now, possibly long term, you might be left in the past. So we should all see AI as a strategy and not as a replacement. We are in a new age of HR that is majorly powered by AI. And what we've seen over time from consultations I've had in the past, everybody's intrigued about AI, but how many of us are implementing it in our everyday processes? It's okay to rave about it, to, oh, I want to implement AI, or I like what AI can do. But then again, we still go behind the doors to start requesting for, oh, send your CV to my email. When we already have tools, we can leverage AI tools that will simplify that processes for us as HRs. Now, based on the research that I did, I found out that globally, about 52% of HRs are leveraging AI. But when it comes to the African sector, it is less than 30%. And that's where I mentioned that most HRs are happy, oh, we have AI that will, some people say, oh, we have AI that will simplify our processes. And others are like, I don't want AI to take my job. But that is not the case. We focus AI for majorly the analytics to help us get insights. And then the HR is not able to strategically think of ways to position the company in the best light. Now, this gap shows that many organizations in Africa still rely on outdated manual systems. So these manual systems will have them, just like Tony mentioned, it will have them just gathering data, and then it takes time to now analyze this data. What AI is coming to do, or is doing right now, is transforming that data into key insights for teams. We are seeing the world is going hybrid. We are seeing people are majorly working remotely, unlike before, where you have physical teams, where you have people coming to work. You're able to gauge people off just, let's say, your personal perception of them. Now, that is not the case. It is majorly now input. You're now going to be looking at people's input to work that is being done. Now, when it comes to this work that is being done, how do you go about it? And that's when it comes into you leveraging data. Because right now, HR without data is majorly going to be around guesswork. Oh, did this person do well, or did this person not do well? Or how are we currently measuring inputs that's being done by our team members? Now, let's see how data is transforming performance management. From before, it was majorly through annual appraisals. I know that there are different types of appraisals. There are manual appraisals, there are annual appraisals, there are biannual appraisals, there are quarterly, there are monthly, now there are even weekly. AI has come to give us so much options that we could leverage to simplify our processes. Before now, I'm juxtaposing the traditional approach and the AI data-driven approach. Before now, we have periodic reviews where you just make, you give the final feedback based on the impressions you have as an HR or as an HR lead. Or even if you have that data, the amount of time it will take you to process and analyze that data, you'll see that you are losing out on time. But with AI, you're able to continuously track the behavior, performances of your team members. So let's say, for instance, you have a company goal, a company-wide goal. How are you going to achieve that goal? In achieving that goal, you possibly have to you have to do your goal setting, you have to set up your goals, you have to spread that goal across departments. Then from there, you now have to measure that data. And this data is majorly measured annually for the traditional approach. But now when it comes to you leveraging on AI, you can see people, you can assign tasks, you get to see the metrics that are being assigned to your team members. It could be the balance scorecard, the KPIs. You have that set in place. And once you feed this data into the tools that you're leveraging, because I remember Tony mentioned that for you to actually optimize AI, you have to leverage AI tools to do this, or make use of systems that are leveraging AI to simplify processes for HRs like you. So based off the entries that have been made, you're not able to forecast how these performances are going to go. You're able to say, okay, this person has been able to achieve this. This person is due for this. In fact, you even get notifications. How AI is even simplify processes in such a way that you even get notifications for people because people like to be celebrated. You get notifications for people that are doing up to par. They get recognitions because they are hitting their goals on the go. So you are an HR, possibly you have other things you're thinking about, how to strategize the company, how to re-strategize, or how to move the company forward, how to align goals. You have a tool that's constantly sending reminder, oh, this person has achieved this milestone, or this person has spent 2 years with the company, and this is their growth trajectory. And from that, you're able to see employees get more engaged with processes. You're also able to even see ways that you can actually empower your teams. Now, when it comes to when it comes to getting feedback from reviews that are being carried on, you don't even have to stress about going out, oh, I sent you this review, or typing emails and the likes. When you leverage AI tools, you are able to identify potential drop-offs, you're able to identify top performers, and not just that, in leveraging these two for like the performance management system, every performance that is being carried out comes with a due date. And for every time it is not done, these people automatically get AI notifications that, okay, notifications directly from AI that, oh, you have this thing to do, kindly go about it, as opposed to when HRs would now be fussing about, oh, how do I go about it? What do I do? Who am I reaching? I reached out to this person, he's not saying anything. The line manager would now have to reach out, and it causes a lot of confusion and a miscommunication gap, a communication gap rather within teams. The traditional approach, again, you see limited visibility into real-time employee engagement. Unlike AI, where it doesn't even know who exactly it is promoting, it is just promoting these employees based off the data it is being provided. Because when it comes to performance, especially when it comes to employee engagement, based on what you see is what you saw. I can see it. This person talks so much, so it means this person might be doing good, or this person is in the forefront doing things, but there's no data backing up that decision making. And that's where AI comes in, because AI is now able to give you real-time insights. You're able to, you have analytics on what is and what is not happening within your team members. You're even able to track your top performers. You're able to track people that are underperforming, and even assign. AI can even recommend courses that these employees could take to better their performances. There's so much that you can leverage while utilizing AI, and we've seen that companies that use AI performance systems, they perform higher and they enjoy better retention, because when employees are performing better, organizations leverage that data, give recognition, give rewards. It will even boost the morale of other employees who want to do better to also get such recognition. So we've seen that has been transforming the workplace. Now, when it comes to simplifying HR and feedback systems, I already mentioned that we should turn data into decisions and not just documents. So we're not just piling up information and storing one place and just making those decisions based off our intuition or just based on how we feel. We have it backed by data. Now, this data is not just even something that is only generated by the HRs. It also gets to engage these employees into the whole journey. This doesn't just only help HRs, it also helps the employer branding. When, oh, how do they do this? We have tools, we have this that helps track our performance. We leverage this product, we leverage that product, we leverage a lot of things. And when people that even want to be a part of your team, they know that these companies have structures and processes in place that's going to simplify work for them. So what AI does is that it helps you automate your performance tracking system and employee evaluation in real time. So what we have on my team, I work with Lobby AI. What we have on my team, there is this tool that can track your task in real time. You get to see goal completion rate, task completion rate, everybody, the KPIs, and then there's an analytical dashboard open to every employee, where you're able to see the hours worked, you're able to see their performance month on month, if that is what your team captures. We have the month on month, we have the quarterly, we have the weekly, all of that. So it gives you that dashboard, which you're able to see, oh, who is putting in the work, or who is the highest performer this week, or who was the highest performer last month, who worked more this. You're able to capture all of that, and you're also able to see the task completion rate. So from when a task is started to when a task is completed, you're able to see the time frame that was used to complete that task. And AI would now help you analyze that engagement, help you track efficiency, and even provide you a summary report of your employee tasks. So AI is able to like help you simplify a lot of your processes, and this will automatically provide you smart dashboards that will help you visualize progress that your team is making, and this will help you act and move fast as a company. And the impact for HRs is that you get faster review time, you get bias-free appraisals. Your promotions are backed by data. It's not backed on, oh, this person has been doing, oh, this person has been in the forefront. Let's make the person, this person is due for promotion, as opposed to when you are having this, even if that person is due for promotion, what does the data say? You get to make that decisions based off what the data is saying. And for organizations that love to get feedback from their employees, because having your employees fully engaged with the processes, the structures, with the happenings within the company, companies like that get to enjoy faster acceleration as opposed to doing things in the dark, like, oh, this is just the management decision, go forward. If you want to get employee real-time feedback on their wellness, on their affairs as it pertains to the company, or their ideas and views on structures within the company, you have tools, AI tools like employee surveys that are integrated into a lot of these HR systems that simplifying processes for teams. You also get to see better alignment with the insights that you're seeing and the possible business outcome, or who is the person doing this. The data shows you that. Who is the person that's performing low? The data shows you that. You're able to unify both of them. Or, okay, which aspect of the business is lagging? Which task has been performed? Which tasks have not been performed? Which task takes longer to achieve? So you know how many employees you're supposed to assign to that particular task to shorten the delivery cycle. So all of these are some ways that AI is helping teams simplify their process. We are seeing how AI is helping team members do onboarding, manage employee life cycles through these engagements I already mentioned, through performance, AI, even to the point of onboarding. Let's say you have new joiners joining your team. By the time you already requested some documentations from these new joiners, you have chatbots that automatically notify these new joiners to complete their onboarding, as opposed to the other way that you have to now start reaching out to them to complete I did complete this onboarding. You get to see a dashboard that has simplified that process for you. There are faster reviews. You get bias-free appraisals. That's the impact for it of HRs like yourselves. Then when it comes to smarter decision making for the future of work, when building data-driven, we should also build people-first organizations, and AI would automatically help you identify your team's strengths and skill gaps. And as Tony mentioned initially, it will help you predict burnout. So you know that you've assigned this number of tasks to this person has completed this task. For every time you get that data, you get to see how many tasks they performed over a period of time. This is what they've done. And from there, if you feel that from there, your intuition could be possibly, okay, this person has worked to this particular point, is due for this, is due for a reward, or is due for leave, something around that. Even when it even comes to your leave management structure, AI even helps you structure that in such a way that you are able to see in a dashboard the number of people that have requested for leave. They're able to manage the people that you accept. At least you're able to see the number of people, the analytics on an individualized dashboard on the number of leave days they have left, the number of leaves that are open to them, the pay time, unpaid time for work, and all of that. It has simplified it. And from that way, you're able to make more strategic and evidence-based workforce decisions. This will help build more efficient teams, improve employee satisfaction, and you're able to drive measurable business growth. And one thing I always mention when I speak to HRs in my over 5 years of being in the HR tech space, I tell them that AI is not here to replace you. Automating a lot of your processes is not here to replace your work. It is here to be used as a strategy because it amplifies impact. So when you're using these tools, it helps you focus more on the people. You focus more on, okay, how can I help these employees better? I'm already leveraging tools that would have stressed me, that would have taken about 80% of my time. When I started with payroll, simplifying payroll processes for teams in Nigeria. And for every conversation I had, as at 2020, payroll was not really a thing in Nigeria. So I had to do a lot of convincing. Say, oh, you have to use this product so you could focus on this, you could focus on that. There were some I even had to go where okay, try this. And within first 6 months, they're like, isn't it? You reduced my work time to a large extent. I'm able to focus on a lot of other things. I didn't even, if I knew of this earlier on, I would have jumped on it. And now we are hearing so much about AI. I know there's a rave around it, but we need to actively see teams embrace AI. You can embrace AI when it comes to your recruitment processes. AI can streamline your candidate matching. AI can even make recommendations for you when you utilize AI tools for your recruitment. AI can even handle interviews for you. If you'd like to find out more about that, you can always ask a question, and I will be glad to bring any clarity that you might need. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Izini. That was awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight into how AI and data analytics can really transform the operations of performance management of any organization. So thank you to our both speakers for this insightful session. So now we'd love to hear from our audience. If you have any questions, please just drop them in the chat box or raise your hand and we will call you, or we'll tell you to unmute to speak. So let's get this interactive. Feel free to share your experiences, challenges you're facing, maybe at your current place of work, how you can leverage AI at your current place of work, or how you can even introduce AI and data analytics at your current place of work. So feel free to ask your questions. Let's get it interactive, and you can even want to share your tools that you use in your organization. Let's hear from you. So I leave the floor to our participants. You can go ahead and ask any question that you feel is relevant to your knowledge right now. Thank you. All right, so thank you so much, Olusegun. So someone just asked a question in the chat. He said, good presentation. Please, how can we practically demonstrate using AI for performance management? So I'll throw this to Izine. Please, can you just throw more light, practical ways that you can demonstrate using AI for performance management?
Thank you. Thank you. So, Olusegun, practical ways you can actually leverage, you can use actually to simplify your processes for performance management is, first of all, you getting the right tool. Getting a tool that you are sure does most of what is mentioned by these tools, especially when it comes to performance management. Now, let's say, for instance, you incorporate a tool like Lobby AI. There are different performance models. We have for there's a balance scorecard, there's a KPI, there's a general review. And based off that, AI can help you generate templates. All you just need to do is put in the prompt, right? Put in the prompt, but it has to be in sync with your organizational goal. So when, as a team, you already have a goal in place, based off the goal that you have in place, you already have departments also in place. Based on the departments you have in place, we know they are now subunits within departments. So depending on what your structure currently looks like, you can integrate AI into possibly coming up with new templates for you that is in sync with your existing processes. And from there, because you have reviewers and you have the people that are being reviewed, so it gives you a merge. So once that review is going out, once you've already created the templates and all of that, and the reviews are going out, both parties are informed that, oh, a review is currently going out for you. If it is a one-on-one or a 360 review, but if it's a self-evaluation, that employee gets a notification that, okay, this is going out for you. This is for you. Kindly provide this data. AI would help you push that information out, but the entries made by that employees would come directly to you, and based on the information that is being provided, that's when you now see the data insights that would reflect on your dashboards. So for you to be able to leverage this directly, you have to actively make use of a HRM tool that has AI embedded. Hope that answers your question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Izini, and thank you so much, Oshagi, for that wonderful question. I hope that you've been able to get clarity on your question. So, you know, okay, so I'm going to ask another question from the chat box. So Valentina is asking, for someone who is new to using data, here's the best place to start in tracking performance. I'll go over it again. For someone who is new to using data, here is the best place to start in tracking performance. Anthony, I will send this one to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Gessie, and great question, dear Valentina. So I believe that what you're asking is you're in HR and you want to start leveraging data, you want to start leveraging analytics, you want to start leveraging AI to actually, improve your performance management. So what's the very place what's the very first step and how do you start? How do you leverage this and how do you pierce this particular, method? So what you'd have to do basically is to start small. So when I mean start small, I mean that first you need to understand what is your company's objective, because objective has to be tied to performance. So different companies have their mission and the vision, they have their objective, they set goals for the year. It's very important that every company does. So I was speaking to a client and they had similar challenge. They were like, okay, they're not, it just showed that they did not have a particular goal. So once you set your goal, you're looking to maybe close, okay, maybe it's a startup and you're looking to close, let's say 500 companies by the end of the year. So what that means is that you are going to cascade that goal into the number of people that can actually do it, depending on their capacity. So for the sales team, you divide that number of accounts, amongst them, and then you can now start tracking. You start small to track that to get this X amount of meetings or to close this amount of this thing. I need to track a certain metric, a particular variable. So you start with that, and then you can now start adopting tools for various tasks that will make it possible. So the very first step is to understand that, okay, I want to do this. In order to do this, I need to track this. In order to track this, I need to make use of this certain tool. So this tool now would help me for a particular thing. Let's still, work within that sales, department. It's going to help me to track the number of meetings. It's going to track the number of, conversion, how many people I was able to convert, how many people I was able to, meet with physically, how many proposals was I able to send, how many. So once you start with all of that, you've aligned your goals, you've been able to measure the performance, you've been able to use a tool, you have a dashboard. Tools like CRM is a very important tool because it helps to make sure that every lead that you talk to, sorry, I'm making use of sales term. I'm a salesperson, by the way. So every lead that you interact with, you're able to keep track of that. Then you now use things like predictive analysis. You're now saying that, okay, if I talk to 100 people and I'm able to close one deal, so I need to talk to 500. It might not exactly work out, but it is a good way to predict for you. So that way you are predicting their performances. You can also, incorporate AI-driven tools such as Lobby AI, because Lobby AI is now going to inform you, it will notify you, just like Izini said, that this particular person has been doing this particular task and this has been the result. Helps you to now identify gaps. You're able to forecast performance. So what this means is that basically, what I'll give you as a takeaway is for you to first you identify your business objective, then you begin small, then you focus on quality and gradually scale with tools that align with your culture. Because your organization might be different, you guys might be focused on something else, or you guys might be focused on something else. You also look at the nature of your company. So all of this means that if you're new to data and you like to get the best place to start is to start small, identify your objective, and then you can scale from there. So that's the best way to track the performance. And I hope that this answers your question, Valentina.
Thank you so much for that detailed explanation. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation. All right, I hope that answers your question, Valentina. So we have Hillary. Okay, Mr. Hillary, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. This has been it's been an eye opener. However, I'm caught in between a particular area. How do we guarantee the accuracy, relevance, and timelines of performance data collected across departments. This I am highlighting under data quality and integrity. Also, what data governance and protocols are in place to prevent manipulation or bias in performance metrics? And to add to that, how do you audit or validate the consistency of the performance data sources? Because this in line should be guidelines that will be used to achieve a particular feedback from the AI tools that we are in discussion right now. So we are looking at leveraging on this, but we need to impute the data. So how do we gather, how do we ensure that the inputs we're giving are accurate, they are relevant? How do we know that they're not manipulated so that we can get the actual feedback we are looking at being able to use? Thank you very much.
Oh, all right. Izine, can you go ahead to give insights to that question? If you need him to go over it again, he can
No
give more
problem.
clarity.
Okay. Thanks for the question, Hilary. So while AI is a powerful tool, AI cannot be used on its own. AI cannot make certain decisions for teams, and that's where the human factor will forever be relevant. Now, when you mentioned the accuracy of the data entered, data is not manipulated to suit certain people. Oh, let me say, for instance, I didn't do this amount of work, but I did this amount of work. Now, that's where the approval processes come in. There are workflows, there are department needs, and that's where the approval process come in. And they are the ones, that's why you definitely do have to work with data as a company. If you want to grow, you leveraging on every data you have and collecting as much data that you can harness is very necessary. So as a team lead, you have that data in place. So for everybody submitting, let's say for instance, let's say we are running a self evaluation performance, let's say for KPIs for instance, and as a person, I made over 100 calls in 3 hours. You as a team lead, you've gone through that process. You know what is possible, what is not possible, right? But aside that, you are also able to track the amount of data that you've provided. That's, let me say, airtime that you've provided to that employee to be able to make those number of calls. And based on the data that is being entered by the employee, there's already a track record where that information is being entered. Let's say a CRM tool that you're leveraging, which you can always go back to make to see the trajectory of the conversation that has been going on, to see how many calls have been made. There's something that tracks that data. That's why I said right now we are in a time where you need to have tools that help you track data, because data is life. We moved past the part where we think that data was not life, but now there's an Airtel advert that was saying data is life. We didn't know what it was saying, but right now we are coming to that part of, we are coming much more into what that looks like. So when people are entering this data, there should already be a system that you're able to track this data from. And based on what it enters, what AI would just majorly give you is analytics to show you, the insights based on what has been poured into it. And once it has been poured, it still needs approval processes from possibly the line manager to be sure to vet that information that has already been entered by that team member or that employee. So you have to have the right processes in place, the right structures in place for you to leverage AI optimally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Izine. That was apt. Thank you so much, and I hope that answers your question, Hilary. I have Esther's hand raised up. Okay, Esther, can you unmute and ask your question, please? Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Thank you very much to our speakers for your insightful talks. They have been really, really insightful and helpful. I would like to ask, can AI truly tell who is doing a good job, or is it just measuring the numbers. I would like you to throw more light on that, please.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Esther. Good morning. Thanks for that question. So, I would speak for my company, right? We have a tool where you're able to track tasks of all employees, right? So from the point where that task is created down to where it's been completed, there's a track record on every individual's profile. So from there, you are seeing. So let me say, for instance, I'm a software engineer, and I've been assigned a task to build a code that will solve something within an app or within my app. And if I put that task as completed and people are having that issue continuously in real time, is that truly completed? No, it is not. And you as a line manager, you as the line manager, or you as the lead, would go back there to reassign that task to that person. So that reassigning would automatically prompt AI, okay, it has not been completed. So they have to go back to complete that task. So it is what AI would majorly do. What you is like, let me say, la cram la pour. What you feed it in is what it will bring out. So for people that now they've completed tasks, you're able to see tasks that are being completed by every employee, and you're able to also manage the expectations. You're also able to see, oh, this person said he has completed this number of tasks. I would verify on my end to see if that task has been completed and approve. So we have a dashboard where team members can update their task in real time. We've also leveraged geofencing technology for both remote and hybrid teams in such a way that when you're clocking into work, possibly as a remote team, you're putting out the tasks that you have for that day. And once you put out that task that you have, by the time you're clocking out, you put the one that has in progress, the one that has been completed, the one that you've not yet started, and then you clock out. That helps you, that helps the reporting system. And line manager is also able to vet, because that tool is just majorly for you to track your productivity. There's now you now tracking it in real time. That's why I say that the human factor can never be irrelevant. So you'll have to go and verify the inputs that has already been made by the AI. AI is a great tool, right? But it does not eradicate where we as humans have to do certain things. I saw a post that says that people use AI a lot, right? But these people that use AI a lot, and if you use AI a lot and you don't even know how to fine tune certain things, means you're not an expert in that particular assignment you're doing. So AI can even feed you that data. If AI feeds you the data, who does the explaining? You will. And if you don't have prior knowledge, if you don't understand what you're explaining, you will be caught. So I can even give an instance. Let's say sometime last week, I helped a team manage a recruitment process, and what the person was saying was super fantastic, but backing it up with their own personalized data was not there. So you as a human, there's the human factor, there's the AI factor. AI is here to simplify a lot of processes, but it's not here to not make you anything at all. Let me put it like that. So the task can be tracked that way. So once they've put in the tasks that are being done, you as a line manager would see it and approve and be sure that what has actually been entered has actually been performed, and it is automatically ticked as done on your own end as the manager. Thank you. Hope that clarifies your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that should.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. So I would just jump to Olabisi's question, and it's a very sensitive one here. Then while AI sounds great for boosting productivity, are there any risks or challenges that organizations should be careful about? I'll take it again. While AI sounds great for boosting productivity, are there any risks or challenges that organizations should be careful about? Anthony, I want you to take this one. Then if Izini has anything to add, she can add to this. So let's hear from you, Anthony. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that's a like you rightly said, is a very, very sensitive question, because they say too much of everything can, is not always good. And that's that in theory applies here, because there's an extent to which you will now leverage on AI, you forget the fundamental reason why you became an HR. Like the word HR means human resource. It means that there needs to be some form of human touch in the system and in the mix. And that's what Agent has been able to beautifully, explain, that AI needs human intervention, does not eradicate the need. And that's the number one challenge that everyone leveraging AI should be aware of. So let me give you a scenario. So there is a client that I manage. She has, a number of employees, and that, she utilizes a tool that helps to make her work easier. So she, just pulled out a report and then acted on that report to give, promotion and appraisal. And then the report was accurate, the data was accurate, but her intervention was missing. And that's a challenge. Why? Because she forgot to recognize the fact that an employee whose performance was bad at some point had another task that was given by the superior. So that happens a lot in the system. So you're just saying, okay, garbage in, garbage out. This person did this, is supposed to get this. You're forgetting that there was an extra task, and that is why the human touch is very important. So if you had some form of emotion, and you used your data, you look through this report, and then you're reporting, you're viewing, you're seeing that, okay, employee A did this, employee B did this. Okay, why did employee C have this? And then you remember that, okay, there was, during this 3 month period that you were using to gauge, this person was engaged with another activity, or this person was undergoing training, or this person is, undergoing a different learning curve, or, just recently changed to a different department. So that's number one challenge. It sounds great, but if there is no intervention of that human touch, it becomes a risk. There's now, that challenge of over dependence on the solution. No matter how much you want to put it, AI analytics, they are all computers, and they only tread on data. So another very important thing is data itself. So data is something that is protected, has to be, there's so many things around data that makes it important. There's some data that you are not authorized to touch. There's some data that you're not authorized to share. There's some data that, you have to keep private. So management of data. So that's why I advise that for challenges like this, for companies like this that would like to utilize data to make decisions, they should ensure that they undergo training. So there's what we call refinement of data. You need to make sure that this data is interpreted well. You need to know how to collect this data. There are so many ethics, there's so many data privacy regulation that so many companies fail to adhere to. So there's what we call NDPR and GDPR. These are data privacy regulations that stipulate. So if you're not careful as an HR personnel, you're just taking, maybe you work in an hospital, for example, you have this record. You have this record of maybe the HIV status of 1,000 people. So data like that, you understand how delicate it is. And if you now, or maybe marital status, you'll be surprised how little data as how much an employee earns a month. People are willing to pay millions for that data, because you'll be surprised what they want to capitalize that data on. So as an HR personnel making use of the tool, you need to make sure that this tool you're using, I know for a fact that Lobby AI, is being regulated by NDPR, GDPR, which means that they have no right whatsoever to make use of data for any other reasons. So these are one of the, these are like 2-3 challenges I've mentioned that helps you. It is great for productivity, but the risk is the data management. The risk is over dependence on HR. That's avoiding the human touch, the human intervention, eradicating it completely is a risk for your business, and so many others that is very key. So it means that you need to ensure that you train managers to interpret data responsibly, and also to avoid over reliance on the technology. So there should be a combination of the human judgment with the AI recommendations to ensure fairness and empathy. So you make sure that there's that human touch. You have one-on-one consultations with these people. You understand that you have to audit your models. You need to make sure that whatever you're undergoing now is being regulated by the standard. There's always a standard in every discipline. So you make sure that you are in adherence with the right things to do. You make sure that you are not, utilizing data for the wrong cause. You make sure that data of your employees are not, put on servers that will now, cause some form of problem, glitching, so many form of, web attacks, because most of these things are web-based. and because it's web-based, it means that they are hosted on a server. So you need to make sure that you trust this particular company that you are trying to host all of your information on to prevent any form of interference and any form of risk, basically. So I hope that this gives a bit of clarity to your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Anthony. I believe that answers the question. But isn't it, do you have anything to add to what Anthony have said, or we are good?
So Anthony answered most of it, but I would also so while AI has challenges, it is good that as HRs you undergo AI trainings to help you align a lot of your processes to see what process you can automate, which ones you'd have to do yourselves. Because while we are preaching AI, I mentioned initially that a lot of HRs in Africa are not yet fully leveraging AI. And for you to be able to fully leverage it well, you need to undergo trainings. I think that's, aside what Tony mentioned, taking trainings would help a lot in mitigating some of these challenges that Tony mentioned, because these challenges can be optimized, they can be reduced in such a way that whoever is dealing with this AI product, they know that, okay, this is what I want is this, for this is the capacity and this is what I can enter into it. And then he also mentioned don't be over dependent on it. Yes, be dependent. Also know how to analyze data, because in that, so you need to undergo AI trainings. And aside that, I know one of the challenges that we've also seen across board in Nigeria in particular is the cost when AI tools. So more companies, more African companies are cost in such a way that everyday companies can utilize AI to simplify their processes. So yeah, that's just what I would like to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that insightful response. So I want to ask a question personally from my end. So I want to know, what are the biggest challenges organizations face when implementing data performance management, and how can they overcome it, right? What are the biggest challenges organizations face when implementing or integrating data-driven performance into their system, and how can they overcome it?
Okay, let me go first, then I think Ezinne can also add to it. So first is, the quality of data. So if you feed the data, wrongly to the system, is definitely going to cause risk, and that's a very, very huge challenge. Then also is analytical skills. Ezinne has said that beautifully as well, because if you do not know how to analyze the data, you don't know how to interpret it, you don't know. So you need to undergo training on how to manage data and also to utilize AI as well. Then the very most important thing that is, widely the problem here in Africa is inertia. That's, unwillingness to change, being scared of the unknown. The famous of AI is going to take our job. This is a challenge that is being faced by a lot of HR. You can see the percentage there on Ezinne's slide, explaining that there are so many percentage of people that are still sticking to their old ways. And, they believe that anything technology is not for them. They want to keep, writing on papers. You see offices still, you can't find one, computer there. Everyone is still doing it manually. That's a very, very huge challenge. Even in our finance system, there's so much issue. And then technology cost barrier. Sometimes the solution can be expensive. You see some subscription, you see some, payments. You have to pay for implementation fee, then you have to pay for subscription, then you have to pay for this. So, if it's business of just 5 to 10, 20 employees, they just want to, manage employees, how much can they actually afford? So what's within their budget that will help them to, be able to pay? So these are challenges that is, facing companies that would like to actually leverage AI to achieve achieve their business goals. But what they can do is, first, they can build data literacy around HR and the managers. That's, carry them, put on courses. There's so many courses that they can jump on to give them the basic. You'll be surprised that some HRs of today cannot even work on spreadsheets. As something simple as Excel becomes different and difficult for them. So it's very important that you put them on, teach them how to utilize this solution. And that way you can do this is to carry out pilot programs to prove value. As you take them through this process, maybe just start small, carry out, maybe you want to work on automating only the customer service department. And then when you've seen the performance, you've seen the benefits and the value over time, then you can now, replicate that in other teams. And also partner with expert consultants. So you partner with consultants such as Purple Star, have their employees come to train, to give you insights, to understand the gaps that is being faced about your system. And then, it's going to make it work. So all of these, are the benefit. The problem or challenges being faced and some of the ways that you can solve them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight. Thank you so much. Are you going to add to this? Hello, Izine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Yeah, so Tony highlighted most of it. He highlighted all of what I was going to say around trainings. Trainings cannot not be underemphasized, and we should not lose our human touch when it comes to optimizing our processes, especially for companies at large. And when it comes to the question this lady asked around data privacy and the likes, I see a lot of companies like, oh, is my data protected? What if I open up this data? What will happen? Your data is encrypted. And aside it being encrypted, it's only people within your company that you will give access to this information that gets leverage on them. And as Tony also mentioned initially, companies, most HR techs leverage data protection policies both globally and locally to make sure that the data of their users are protected. Then when it comes to an event of a data breach or a system failure, definitely when you're making use of these apps, you have people that you work with directly, you have account managers, you have people that would work hand in hand with you. Just make sure that when you're leveraging all of these products, you have somebody inside who will definitely put you first. And that's where your account manager comes in to let you know, or the customer support team let you know, okay, we are experiencing a downtime, or this is what's currently going on, kindly be patient with us. Or if you have real-time concerns, they can also help you solve it in real time. But when it comes to your data sensitivity, with Lobby AI, it is encrypted. It's only people that you give access to your account that would have access to it. So yeah, Aramide asked the question on how AI can help improve impact of a sales team. That's where your performance management comes in. That is what we are ideally discussing here today. That's where your performance management structure comes in. As a company, what is your goal? You have to have strategic goals that you want your sales team to meet. And based off that goal that's in place, what is the performance looking like? At the predictive analytics when it comes to forecast, is it looking achievable based on where you're currently at? So you can measure where you're currently at to where you're going. But all of this, you need to have a tool that would help you track that effectively. We can always talk. You can always reach out to Purple Star Consulting, and we can have a conversation on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, from my end, I just want to ask one last question. So looking ahead, what does the future of data-driven performance management look like in the next 5 to 10 years? Can you throw insights on that? Can you tell us what do we think it's going to look like? How are the implementations going to be like? How are the adoption going to be like in Africa? Maybe bringing it down to Nigeria also.
Okay, so I mentioned initially, in 2020, there was no much fuss around payroll. People didn't even know that what they were doing were just bank uploads. Oh, I want to pay salary, I'll take instructions to the bank, and they sign off the statement, and my employees get paid. If I want to even track who is paid, I have to go to the bank the next day. They didn't understand that what they were just doing were just majorly payments. It was not defined as payroll. The people that knew about payroll were like, let's say, the early adopters. So getting to educate and enlighten a lot of people about it. Now we are seeing a lot of companies, before a company even gets started, they are thinking, oh, what products can I use to optimize my payroll? So now we are seeing payroll as, oh, people are getting. But when we first started to push for it, it was a new thing. But now we are seeing more people are embracing payroll. The products are more simpler. You get a lot of options because the market is ever evolving. Technology is continuously improving. So you get to see simpler processes. Now, when it comes to that data, I would advise companies to harness, because I mentioned initially, harness as much data as you can from your team. Let's say if you have information on documents or stored somewhere in a manual paper, and like try your possible best to digitize them. When you digitize this data, because by 2030, data will be more easier to access. People, you'll be able to do so much more with the data that you have. So we can be able to say, oh, in 1990 something, Nigeria was not like this. Not because we were there, but because of the data that has been put in place for us to have access to that information. So people would be more informed about processes, and technology would have grown way farther than it already is right now. So that's my answer. I don't know if Tony has more insight to share on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Tony, do you have anything to add to that?
Okay, Ezine has said it all, and I'll just conclude by saying that the future is very, very intelligent, personalized, and strategic, and that AI is coming whether you like it or not. It is here to stay, just the same way automation came in HR. People were used to using the banks to pay. Now people pay from their software, pay on Sundays. This create and disburse payments in in a split in a matter of minutes. I'm saying this because I was part of the advent of automation in payroll here in Africa. So I worked with the first, very early companies that actually helped to make sure that, payroll is easy. We understand that the greatest headache of every HR is how to, come up with these taxes, this pension, this statutory remittance, trying to be, on the good side of the law, especially towards the end of the year now where people are filing tax returns. All of this was crappy. Everybody is very hard to get your tax. It's very hard to get your tax, certificates. Very hard to get your pension. Keeping track of pension. One employee is dragging the other of saying, "I didn't get my pension for this month. I didn't get my pension." When you have all of this in one space, it makes it beautiful, and that's what AI is, striving to achieve in the world of HR, on different fronts. So yeah, so it's here to stay, and I'll end with this. HR professionals who are scared of AI or do not want to adopt to AI now will eventually, so AI is going to actually take the jobs of people that are not learning how to utilize it now, not the jobs of people that are already making use of it. So what that means is that as an HR professional, be in vogue. It is something that is evolving and that there is no stopping it. It gets better from here. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. So just to put a little bit more insight to what we've been talking about. So I want to share a story of a company I heard about. So they are going to downsize, right? They are going to downsize some staff, and a particular HR person was tasked with listing number of staff that are going to be downsized. So he had to look at their performance and how they were what their general culture and all that to downsize. So the HR person actually listed a couple of persons that he wanted to downsize. And there's this particular guy who wanted to downsize because he was not performing very well on his own task, right? And he wanted to let that person go. So when he submitted the list to the HR manager, the HR manager went through all of the document because they also use analytics and the AI to manage their processes. So when he looked at the persons, their names and looking at their performance, what he discovered was that this person actually, this person that what they want to, one of the guys that they wanted to let go, he actually is not delivering very well on his own task, right? It doesn't meet deadline when he has to, and there's some tasks he doesn't meet up very well. But what they discovered was that from the analysis on their platform, they found out that the guy is a collaborator. He collaborates with every of his team members, and he actually gives up to about 40% input to all their successful tasks. Right? So I want to ask, I already have the answer, but I want to ask. So if you're an HR person, what would you do to that kind of a person? He's not delivering very well on his own task, right? He meets up to 40, 50, 60% of his task. But when you check out every other person's task, he's delivering up to 40, 50% on the average of their task. He collaborates very well and helps other people look good. So, Anthony, what do you think of that kind of staff? Do you think it's a person to let go, or do you think he should stay?
Okay, I say in my opinion, he's a very good team player, and that's what that's what matters, because for him to be able to collaborate easily with people, it shows that he knows, he works better as a team. And he also shows leadership potentials and great people skills potentials as well. So he looks like someone that, if you give him a team of 5, a team of 7 to collaborate with and to work with to achieve a result, he will do better. So it's not someone to let go at all. He's to take cognizance of that unique skill that he has, and probably even make him a team leader or assign a particular task for him or to him that would require him to work with people to achieve it. So it's a very, very good person to have in a team, and should not be let go. That's what I think. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Isn't it? What about you? What do you think? Is it you're muted? In case you're speaking, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Oh my! Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know what my mic was. I thought I unmuted and I was speaking already. So I was saying that for this kind of employee, we have what we call on Lobby AI a performance improvement plan. This employee can be put on a performance improvement plan for like 3 months, clearly stating you can even assign him courses that would help him perform individually, because he also have individual goals aside also being a collaborator. It's great to be a collaborator. It's really good. It's one of the things that most teams look out for. So instead of having to let go of that talent because you're kind of downsized, you already know this person from the inside. You've seen this person is a great team player. So what can I do? I see that this person has brought a lot of value to my company. So what can I do to help this person perform better? Because now it's not looking like he's not performing. It's just that on his own individualized tasks, he's not doing great. So you can assign courses to him. We have a learning and development feature that we are still building, but we have some courses on it already. You can assign one of the courses to him that would majorly help him educate him more on KPIs and goals. So it could be that he's undermining his own tasks and focusing on others because possibly their own look way bigger, way more taskier, but he doesn't know that he has his own personal KPIs to meet up with. So that performance improvement plan can be, let's say, within a month, within 2 months, within 3 months, and from that you are able to now make a more data-driven decision to either let him go or let him stay if he does not get to improve on his own personalized KPIs. That would be my own input on that.
All right, thank you so much for that insight. So what actually happened was that the HR manager actually decided to put him on just to show, okay, what he tried to do was to make the other HR person that was assigned the task of downsizing understand that some persons that you don't let go because they're actually the persons who are making other people look good. So from the analysis, they show that he collaborates very well and he helps other people look. So they gave him some suspension for, because he wasn't really meeting up to his own task. So they gave him suspension for about 2 weeks. For that 2 weeks, he was not on board. Everybody was struggling with their task. So they got to understand that, okay, this guy is actually the guy that makes everybody lose. So they all lean on him for help. So when they brought him back, they brought him back actually, and they didn't, when they were downsizing, he was not part of the people that they downsized. They had to downsize from other departments. So but he was still in the system. So I just wanted to show how important AI and using the CRM system can actually help people get insights about a particular situation. If there were no tracking system to show that this guy is a collaborator, that guy would have been let go, and everybody would be struggling in the team, and you'd be wondering what's happening. You don't know that you let go someone who is actually a great contributor to the team. So that's one important thing AI and data analytics can do for you as an organization. So thank you so much. Someone raised his hand earlier, Isaac. Isaac, are you still there? I think that will be
Yes,
our
I
last
am.
question. Okay, please go ahead and
Yes,
ask
I
your
am.
question. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
so no, it's not the question, it's just to also contribute to the scenario you just raised.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so you know, sometimes some people might not be performing well on their task because probably they might not really understand what their task is, or is they are bored with the task. But experience has shown that when I was talking before, particular guy who was in finance, I've been in finance for a very long time, maybe like almost over 10 years. I realized that for 2 consecutive years he was underperforming. So I had a chat with him to actually know why he was not doing well again in finance. And I realized that his interest has moved from finance to sales. So I had to have a discussion with management. Eventually, the guy was moved to sales, and the guy started doing well. So sometimes again, and the guy was also a collaborator. So sometimes again, chatting with the employee to actually know the reason behind them not performing is also necessary. It might give you an insight to know why the person is not doing well on the task he or she is supposed to deliver. So when you know what the reason is, to help you to take a better decision. Again, that is where HR, AI or software comes in, to be able to track person's performance. But you now have to query it as HR to know why this particular outcome, and based on the response from the person, to help you to take a better decision. That was just my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac. I really appreciate that insight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You see, this was what Mr. Anthony also said. You must always, in as much as you are driving your performance and driving your organization with AI and data analytics, you must not remove the parts of the human from the human resources, right? So thank you guys so much. This has been a truly enlightening conversation, one that shows that the future of performance management is not about control, but about clarity. Data and AI do not replace human insight, it enhances it, helping leaders make fairer, faster, and smarter decisions, right? On behalf of Purple Star Consulting Limited, I want to thank our incredible speakers, Mr. Anthony Mbe and Izine Wachiku, for sharing such lovable and valuable insights. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you so much for being a part of this learning experience. I don't know, do you have any word, Mr. Anthony, maybe one word for us before we take a bow?
Okay, I'd just like to say thank you everyone for joining. I strongly, I'm an advocate for things like this because it helps everyone in this ecosystem to be on the same page, know what is going on, and also to share ideas. Beautiful insight came from everybody, and I'd love to say that it's been a pleasure speaking here, and I look forward to more of this, to attend either as a speaker or even to attend as a participant to learn from other speakers. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So much. Thank you so much. Isn't it, how about you? Any last words for us? Thank you.
So from my end, thank you to Purple Star Consulting for organizing webinars like this to enlighten people, HR teams, on what new trend is, on not just even new trends overall, on processes, on optimizing their processes as a growing revenue and the like. Is always an insightful conversation, because sometimes if you're not in the room, you would never really know what is being discussed. And I've been able to learn a lot from the conversation today, not just from myself as a speaker, but from everybody on the call today. People have shared their views, people have asked questions. We are seeing more traction, because I'm now seeing more people are more interested in AI. So I'm sure by 2026, the ratio I shared between the global HRs and Nigerian and African HRs would go all-time high because more people are now getting into the conversation, and not just only getting into the conversations, they're now willing to optimize these tools and to streamline their processes. And now we also we also know what AI can do, and we also know that the human factor can never be irrelevant. It's more of a collab. So the whole conversation has been really insightful. Thanks to everyone who made it to the call. I look forward to having more sessions like this and learning more from teams. When I go to conversations like this, I also always like to listen because you can't really grow if you don't learn from others. So thank you for the opportunity to go here. Thank you all so much for joining too.
All right. Thank you so much, Izine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. To everyone who joined us today, thank you for being a part of this learning experience. Right? We encourage you to stay connected with Purple Star Consulting for more professional development sessions like this, performance tools, future webinars designed to help you and your organization thrive in the right direction. So until next time, keep leveraging data, keep learning, keep driving performance with purpose. Thank you all for joining and do have a wonderful day. Thank you. The link will be shared. The link will be shared to everyone via your email. The link to this recording will be shared to everyone via your email address. So thank you, everyone. If you have any more questions, you can always reach out to us. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.